Alrighty guys, now Square Enix, the maker of Final Fantasy, they have something going on I've never heard before. This is called abandonment losses. $140 million in losses right now. And abandonment losses means that if they finish the games, it's projected it's going to cost them more because the sales, they're not going to be there to make up for what it's going to cost to finish the game. So for example, if they leave it like it is right now, they're going to lose probably $140 million. If they finish the games, put them out, they're probably going to fall behind $300-400 million. So because these games, they're not going to sell because they've looked the last couple of years. If you looked at Square Enix, they put out a lot of games, a lot of stuff I've never heard of, and they're like, we're just going to have to put these games on, just scrap it and start over. We can't make all these games. We got to make stuff we know that's going to sell. We're just going to keep losing money and put out these games and keep losing money. So it's called abandonment losses. And you can check out the full article below. I find it kind of wild myself. And a lot of this comes down to, just making too many games that don't sell. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Instead of just sticking with what they know is going to sell, they put out all this other stuff. And like Forspoken, I guess, is one of them. You can check it out. But stuff like that, they're just losing money. And it's just so odd to think about it like that. We have a game almost finished, and we got to throw it away because if we put it out, we're just going to lose even more money. It's not worth finishing. So that's wild. And I also think, a big part of this is, Sony has exclusives on the Final Fantasy games. And of course, those games only come out on the PlayStation 5 for they're like some kind of timed exclusive or whatever. And also Sony, of course, I think paid to finish the last one. They said Final Fantasy Rebirth 7, as great as that was, it's lost a ton of money. And a big part of this, of course, is these games are Sony exclusives. They cost so much to make. And if this game was released, say, on PC or even Xbox at the same time it was released on the PlayStation 5, these losses wouldn't be as bad. They may even be, they may even turn a profit. They probably would make some money. But because they have these exclusive contracts with Sony, I think it might be a promise or an exclusive or whatever. But if they could put all their games out on all the platforms, some games comes out on all the platforms, but some of this stuff is Sony exclusives. And that's hurt them also. That's just, when you put both of those things together, games that don't really sell, and then you locked into Sony and you can't really, get away from the exclusive deal, it really hurts. If they could put it out on PC, it would help. They'll just forget about the Xbox. If they would put it out on PC, that would help them a lot. Because like I've said before, PlayStation gamers, they're not PC gamers. They're really not. They're going to play their PlayStation 5s. Sure, you're going to have a few people say, well, I play both and all that. But for the most part, I would say 90% of all gamers, they play. If I'm a PlayStation gamer, I'm not going to be playing PC. That's the way I am. That's the way most people I know are. But there you have it. So to me, it's more than just about bad games and put out too many games. I think they put out like 20 games last year, 15, 20 games last year. A lot of stuff you never even heard of. And again, it's more than just that. If they could put these games out on all the platforms, we're just seeing it. All these games costing more and more money to make. It needs to become multi-plat. Especially for a company like Square Enix, because Final Fantasies, they're great games and all, but they really are niche. They're not games that's going to sell like a Mario or like Mario Kart. Those games are not going to sell tens of millions of copies. They're not going to sell like that. If anybody remembers that game, Octopath Traveler, it's like a great game coming on Nintendo Switch and stuff a while back. And as great as that game was, it just sold 3 million copies. So think about that. That's a good number, but again, that's 3 million copies. So Anyway, it's just something to think about, people. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot going on with Square Enix. You know, they're losing money, and it's more than just crappy games. Because really, if they could put all these games out on all systems at the same time, they wouldn't be in as bad a shape as they are right now. So, anyway, double-edged sword. They got both things working against them. Bad games, too many games they don't even put out, don't even advertise it, and then you're locked into Sony. Your Final Fantasy games your bread and butter is pretty much a Sony exclusive, timed exclusive or whatever. And it may come out on PC later on. And after that, you know, the buzz is kind of gone. So, anyway, that's just the way it is. Anyway, the full article is below. Check it out. Let me know what you think about it. I guess you can say Square Enix is in a pickle. Literally. So let's hope they get this figured out, and we'll see what happens. I just wonder how many games is being lost. How many games right now they're like, well, this is almost finished, but, man, we can't afford to lose an extra $30 million by putting this out. This makes you wonder what kind of games they actually do have that could have been hits or just been something that, you know, a game you would have, probably not sold a lot, but, you know, somebody would have loved to play it. But anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. And as always, remember, destiny is all. Toodles.